3 months old is when everything starts clicking, but it's also when you need to prepare for the biggest sleep curveball of your baby's first year. And most parents have no idea it's coming. Hey, I'm Annie, mom of five and certified pediatric sleep consultant. 3 months is such an exciting milestone, but it's also a critical time for setting up healthy sleep habits before the 4 month sleep regression hits. Today, I'm walking you through exactly what your 3 months old sleep schedule should look like, the developmental changes happening right now that affect sleep, and the proactive steps you need to take to avoid a major sleep disaster in just a few weeks. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about why 3 months old is critical. 3 months old is such a sweet spot. Your baby is becoming more interactive. You're starting to see those social smiles, and sleep is finally becoming a little bit more predictable. But here's what most parents don't realize. You are approximately 4 to 6 weeks away from a major biological change in your baby's sleep. It's called the 4 month sleep regression, and it's not actually a regression. It's a permanent maturation of your baby's sleep cycles. The good news, what you do right now at 3 months old can either set you up for a smooth transition or a really rough couple of weeks that can spill into months. The habits and patterns you establish in the next month matter so much. So, yes, 3 months is so exciting because your baby is developing and changing in amazing ways, but it's also your preparation window. Think of this time as setting the foundation before the big transition. Let's talk about what sleep looks like right now at 3 months. In terms of total sleep, babies need about 15 and a half hours to 18 hours in a 24-hour period. That is still quite a bit of sleep. Your baby needs both quality overnight sleep and good daytime naps to hit this total sleep in 24 hours. Wake windows at this age are 75 to 90 minutes long. You're getting slightly longer wake windows now compared to 2 months old. Remember, a wake window is measured from the end of one sleep to the start of the next. In terms of number of naps, most 3 months old are taking 4 naps, though some still may need 5 if they're taking shorter naps. Here's something important. Total daytime nap sleep should be no more than 5 hours. Why is this? Because we're trying to help your baby consolidate their sleep overnight. If they're sleeping too much during the day, then often nighttime sleep will suffer. Nap lengths can still vary quite a bit at this age. Some days you'll get a nice long nap, other days they'll be shorter. That variability is completely normal, so don't stress about it. Okay, we need to talk about the 4 month sleep regression now because your 3 month old could start showing early signs of it any day now. Around 4 months old, your baby's sleep cycles permanently change. They go from those newborn sleep patterns to more adult like sleep cycles that they'll keep for the rest of their lives. This is biological and unavoidable. Every baby goes through it. When this happens, babies who've been relying heavily on sleep associations, like being rocked to sleep, being fed to sleep, or always needing to be held, suddenly can't connect their sleep cycles anymore. They wake up between cycles and they need that same type of help to get back to sleep. This is what creates that dreaded sleep regression. But here's the thing, you can prepare for this now. At 3 months, you can start establishing healthy sleep habits and independent sleep skills so that when this biological change happens, your baby's ready for it. And guess what? No crying is required. Here are some of those specific actions that you can take. It means putting baby down drowsy but awake. It means creating positive sleep associations like white noise and swaddling, or sleep sack if your 3 month old is rolling, of course. We'll talk about that in a minute. Having a consistent bedtime routine, wake windows consistently, and creating an optimal sleep environment. Now, let's be clear. You're not sleep training at 3 months old. You are just building good habits. Small steps now make a huge difference later. Now let's look at what a typical day and schedule might look like for a 3 month old. Remember, this is a flexible framework, not a rigid schedule. As an example, baby white makeup might wake up at 7 a.m. They might have their first nap at 8:15 a.m., their second nap at 11 a.m., another nap at 2, their final nap at 4:30, and then bedtime at 7:30. Notice a few things here. We're now down to 4 naps a day for most 3 month old babies. Wake windows are a little bit longer, so naps are more spaced out. And bedtime is holding steady around 7 to 7:30 p.m. An important caveat is that some babies will still need a fifth short cat nap in the late afternoon. If your baby's last nap ends at 4:30 or 5 and bedtime isn't until 7:30, that's a really long time for them to be awake. They might need a quick 20 to 30-minute cat nap around 6 p.m. to get them to bedtime. That's totally fine. Note that this schedule will vary from day to day based on nap lengths and your baby's cues. The clock is a guide, but your baby's actual sleep that day and the cues that they're exhibiting and the cues that they're showing matter more. Now let's talk about how to actually implement this schedule in real life. First of all, set your desired morning wake time. Choose a consistent morning wake time that works for your family. You can build everything else around that. I use 7 a.m. in my example, but you can adjust to what works for you. Consistent morning wake times helps you set your baby's circadian rhythm. Even on weekends, try to stay within 30 minutes of your normal wake time. In case you needed to hear this is the same for adults too. Strategy number 2, protect that last wake window. The wake window just before bedtime should be about 90 minutes. This is so important. If your baby's last nap ends too early, they'll be overtired at bedtime and fight sleep. If it ends too late, they won't have enough sleep pressure and they won't be tired enough for bedtime. Sometimes this means capping the last nap, which is a fancy way of waking baby up from that last nap. I know it feels wrong to wake a sleeping baby, but protecting bedtime is more important. Strategy number 3 is to watch total daytime sleep. Remember, no more than 5 hours of daytime sleep. If your baby is a champion napper and hits 5 hours by 3 p.m., you may need to start capping naps to protect nighttime sleep. This doesn't mean to wake them up after every nap, but if you notice nighttime sleep suffering and daytime naps are super long, this might be why. Strategy number 4 is to adjust for nap length variability. If baby takes a short nap, recalculate the next wake window from when they woke up, not from the original schedule. For example, let's say nap number 2 was supposed to go till 12:30, but baby woke up at 11:45 a.m. instead. Your next nap would be around 1 to 1:15 instead of at 2 p.m. according to the regular schedule. You're following the wake window, not the clock, and readjusting after that shorter nap. Strategy number 5 is to establish a consistent bedtime routine. 3 months is literally the perfect age to really solidify a good bedtime routine. Your baby is definitely starting to recognize patterns now at 3 months old. My recommendation is to keep it simple and consistent. This might include a bath, not every night, but when you do it, fresh diaper and pajamas, dim the lights, feed if needed, have a book, put on sleep sack swaddle, white noise on, and put into bed drowsy but awake. Notice in this routine, I separated feeding from laying down to sleep. Why does this routine matter? This routine becomes a powerful signal to your baby that sleep is coming. And as your baby approaches 4 months old and their sleep patterns change, this routine will be an anchor for them. Lastly, start practicing putting baby down drowsy but awake. You don't need to do this for every sleep, but start practicing it. They might fuss a little, and that's okay. Give them just a minute or so to settle before intervening. Let's say they've been up for 90 minutes, so you know that they're ready for sleep based on the wake window, and you're starting to see those tired cues. This is the perfect time to put your baby down drowsy but awake and have them practice falling asleep on their own. The goal is you're teaching them that they can fall asleep in their crib. This skill will be invaluable when the 4-month sleep regression. Now, let's talk quickly about some developmental milestones for a 3-month-old baby. There are some amazing things happening developmentally at 3 months, and some of these impact sleep, so we do need to talk about them. Social smiling is one of my very favorite milestones. Around 3 months old, you're seeing real social smiles. Your baby recognizes your face and your voice, and they light up when they see you. This is the best. It does impact sleep. This increased social awareness can sometimes make bedtime harder because baby doesn't want to miss out on time with you. A consistent bedtime routine helps with this. Now let's talk about gross motor development, specifically rolling. Many babies start working on rolling about 3 months old, especially going from belly to back during tummy time. Here's why this matters for sleep. Once your baby can roll, they need to stop being swaddled. The AAP says as soon as babies show signs of rolling, you should stop swaddling immediately. I recommend switching to a sleep sack or swaddling with the arms out. Yes, they might startle themselves awake a few times while adjusting. If you give it a few nights, they'll adapt. Another milestone at this age is that baby's starting to reach for objects. They're opening and closing their hands, and they'll be more aware of their environment. Increased alertness means that your baby might fight sleep more because the world is getting much more interesting to them. This is another reason why consistent routines and wake windows matter. You're helping them wind down even when their brain wants to stay alert. Every baby develops on their own timeline. If you're not seeing all these milestones yet, that's completely normal. But if you have concerns, always check with your pediatrician. Let me leave you with a few final tips for 3-month-old sleep. Stay flexible. Naps will still vary. Some days will be better than others. Don't stress about perfection. Focus on overnight sleep. As naps consolidate, prioritize getting good overnight sleep. That's more important than perfect naps. Watch for signs of sleep regression. If sleep suddenly gets worse around 3.5 or 4 months old, don't panic. It's that biological change we talked about. Stick to your routines and be consistent. Avoid creating new sleep associations that you don't want to maintain. If you don't want to rock baby to sleep every night for the next 6 months, don't start doing it now out of convenience. Same goes for feeding. You are in such a great position right now. 3 months is that sweet spot where you can set yourself up for success before things get tricky. Don't get complacent. The 4 month sleep regression is coming, and the habits you build now will determine whether it's a minor blip or a major disruption. If this video was helpful, hit that like button and subscribe, and tell me in the comments, is your 3 month old taking 4 or 5 naps? Drop a number below. You're doing an incredible job. Keep building those good habits, and I'll see you in the next video.